Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to do a DPS test with the Stamina Dragonknight on the target skeleton. Today I will show you the Maelstrom setup with the Maelstrom axes, and I will also do another one with the heavy attacks without Maelstrom, axe and dagger. Basically, again, I will have the rotation and all that kind of stuff on my website. I will put the link into the description, and you also can find a playlist with all the DPS tests I do. So there is more, and I'm already working on more. Basically, what am I using? 5 pieces, twice fanged serpent set. It's really strong. It's basically the strongest thing. 3 pieces vicious of feed serpent to get the minus slayer buff, and then 2 pieces crag. Note, I don't have best in slot. Technically, you should use 2 medium pieces here, but I don't have medium, so I use a light and a heavy one. I get a little bit more resources, but I kinda like when we look at 5 medium, 1 heavy, 1 light setup versus a 7 medium setup, you lose 2 to 4% damage. Then we have a Maelstrom dagger sharpened and a Maelstrom axe sharpened. Another note, if you want, like I just recently dropped the infused axe, and if you want, you can use the infused axe. On the target skeleton self-buffed, it doesn't really matter that much. It's basically no difference whatsoever in terms of damage. And in a raid situation, it will be even better to use infused, because you have less chance to actually over-penetrate the boss. On top of that, like I will show you later, like bleeds don't work with sharpened, they don't scale with sharpened, but they will do more damage with infused. So if you have infused weapons, especially in raids, use them. But I know it's pretty hard to get them. I tried for so long and it's just a pain. Then obviously a Maelstrom bow sharpened, which is kind of a must-have because Endless Hail does so much damage. In terms of skills, so this build is very similar to my Venom build. I will put the link in the description too. Basically, here I usually have Steel Tornado, and then I have Rearming Trap on the back, and we don't use this in raids. Now we use Noxious Breath because we want to get Major Fracture, so the physical resistance of the enemy is reduced. Then I use Anti-Cavalry because they have a 35 seconds duration. You can use the Razor one, it has a 30-second duration, it doesn't really matter that much. And I put the Rearming Trap on my front bar, usually it's on my back bar. I also have Silver Bolts here. Why do I have those here? Because Fighter's Guild increases your weapon damage by 3% for each Fighter's Guild ability slotted. 3, 6, 9. And on top of that, Flawless Dawnbreaker gives us another 5%, so 14% overall more weapon damage. Molten Armaments here. This is only here to give us the Mountain's Blessing. So we get Minor Brutality. So we gain another 5% weapon damage. Now you might ask, yeah, but why don't you use Flame of Oblivion? Don't you lose damage? I tried Molten Armaments. It gives me like 500 more damage. Because it buffs all my abilities, and Flames of Oblivion only works on itself. It's weird. Plus on top of that, obviously, if you're a Khajiit, which will give you even more DPS, you will probably need this more, because it also gives you stamina back, 5% of your stamina. So overall, what kind of DPS can you reach with this setup? Between 35 and like 42, 43k if you're really lucky on crits. In terms of champion points, let's just go to the blue ones, because those don't matter. Mighty 97, Thaumaturge 72, and Precise Strikes 31. You can put a lot of points here because everything is a dot on Dragonknight, okay? That's really simple. You will also see I will drop the standard after my second rotation. Why is that? Because certain ability, I want to get all my dots on the enemy, and Venomous Claw, for example, scales better. Like, it will do more damage the longer it runs. So that's just something. That's basically it about the setup. Now let's do the parse and then analyze the combat matrix parse. On my website you will find the simplified rotation, but here you can see like I did some tricks. Like in my last rotation I didn't empower the poison injection dot anymore because simply there was not enough time on this 3 million target skeleton. So I just weapon swapped really fast to actually reapply the stuff and then just rapid strikes again till the ad was dead. That's just something. I mean, if you want to practice the rotation, then just do it like it's on the website. So basically what happened here, you see we have 67% weapon crit and our actual crit was 61%. Somebody also asked me what does this mean damage. So basically we did a total of 3 million damage and 76% of our overall damage came from critical hits. That's not the same as the critical hit ratings. So overall crits in the fight were 61.2%, although we have 67% weapon crit. But you can see the crits did way more damage than actually the non-crits, obviously. First off, we had more, and secondly, they get boosted by stuff like minor force. Now let's analyze the rest. So basically, just to point out the debuffs, major fracture uptime 85%. Because we have to use so many things, like in a raid situation you don't really use this, so you gain even more damage on other dots. Because now, because we have to use major fracture, we lose like 0.5 to a second uptime on other abilities. Same with the molten armaments. You see rapid strike. So basically this is a dot, 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 dot. This one also, this also, like basically everything is a dot. Okay, that's why we have so many points invested in Thaumaturge. You can see my like trapeze 61% uptime, but it doesn't really matter because the minor force we have 100%. Then Hawkeye passive, this is a very important thing. What does this do? Basically, before we swap, like why do I use the molten ornaments is because here you get 5% more weapon damage. I tried using Flames of Oblivion here, but it slightly gave me a little bit less damage, so I prefer using molten armaments. Plus, if you're a Khajiit, you also get some more stamina back, which is nice. So Hawkeye passive, what does it do? Every time we do a light attack, we get 5% more damage for 5 seconds, and this stacks up to 5 times. So we can get the 25% more damage on our bow abilities. So poison injection, endless hail. Now here we have 65%. Now there is some people that can get the 100% uptime if you really pull off some crazy keyboard ninjutsu stuff, okay? Like you have to weapon swap every 4 seconds to do a light attack and weapon swap back. But it's just like the rotation I present here is pretty simple. I will put it on the website so you can go check it out there. Did I forget anything else? Oh yeah, the bleeding. Let's see, twin blade and blunt bleed. So 1.6k damage. It's actually not that bad. So I have 1 ox. Bleeding is pretty random. Sometimes it does 600 DPS, sometimes it does 1.9k DPS. It really depends how much it procs. Another note on bleeding. Bleeding is not affected by how much armor penetration you have. So whether you have 20k armor penetration or 0, bleeding will do the same damage. Same with rending slashes bleed. It's also not affected by penetration. That's another thing why I say like infused weapons, like it's not better nor worse, most likely even better in trial situations because you will not over penetrate your enemies. And if you have infused here, you have a higher chance of boosting like the bleed even more. Because sharpened doesn't help, but infused, so more weapon damage, will make your bleed stronger. That's basically it. I will obviously do more of those tests. For now, I already have a few others, so you can go check them out on the website or on the YouTube playlist. If you have any questions, ask me in the comment section below. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. Cheers.